Talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Good morning. It is a Wednesday edition, a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of GCR. Scenarios are already up. It's a very rare occurrence when the show starts. For some reason, it feels like it's always chaos with Griffin and I realize at 10 o'clock that I haven't put the Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios up. But that's not the case today. Take that, Griffin. Maybe Grant's saying a little less chaos. Yeah, we don't have to lie. Coming up on the program today. In just a couple of minutes, Drew Forrester is going to check in with us. I guess we'll let him preview the Open Championship. Lord knows I don't care. But he sure does. I know that. We'll also, by the way, I do want to ask about Scotty Scheffler losing his mind. I don't know what's going on out there. Also today, we will meet Ike Irish and his dad, Jeff, who was a minor leaguer in the Blue Jays system. And we'll talk about what it means to them now that Ike has been drafted by the Orioles. What else are we doing today? Oh, Juju Reese. You know him. Maryland legend. Baltimore native. St. Francis legend. He's going to join us as well. He's with the Lakers out in the Summer League. And our buddy John Rallo, the godfather of mixed martial arts in the state of Maryland, he will be checking in with us ahead of Show Your Soft Side, Softie Homecoming tomorrow night as well. So a lot to do on a Wednesday edition of the program. Today's show brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Columbia, and Frederick. You know I've been taking peptide treatment, and it's been going well for me. I just don't wake up as sore. Some of those things that you deal with as you get into your 40s where you're just like, even getting out of bed is painful. I'm not feeling that right now, which has been a major positive for me. Whatever other issues you're dealing with in your life as a man of a certain age, whether it's performance issues in the bedroom, whether you think you might be low T, whether it's just stubborn belly fat that won't come off, just stop in and see them. They'll give you a complimentary testosterone test. And those things that you don't want to talk about with your friends, you don't want to talk about maybe sometimes even with your partner that you've been going through, that's a safe space for you to discuss them out at Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call. Owings Mills is the one that I go to, 443-264-4454, Columbia, 443-266-3505, or the one out in Frederick, 240-931-3717. GameDayMen'sHealth.com is the website for Game Day Men's Health. This man, of course, you hear him on 105.7 The Fan, Fairways and Greens, Drew'sMorningDish.com. What's going on, Drew Forrester? How are you, pal?
Why would you go all the way to Columbia when you could just go to Owings Mills?
Well,
Why go to South America?
Right. It's a great point, right? Well, some people are there because, you know, the cocaine's better. Like, let's just be. I know you don't even like the. You don't.
Columbia and Columbia are two different things.
Thank you. I was not aware. I genuinely appreciate that.
Say hi to Lucy.
Oh, hi. Good morning, Lucy. Does she know your Coke joke or?
What's up, Lucy? Say hi.
Hey, it was good to see Lucy at Ethan's graduation party a couple weeks ago.
Lucy's doing a little babysitting at the pool today. You talk about
what does that mean?
Scam.
Wait, what?
I know it would be akin to her coming to babysit those two complete lunatics of yours and going to the pool to do it.
By the way, we haven't talked about it. What was Mrs. Forrester thinking giving my kids water balloons that day? What in the world did she think was going to happen from that?
Right.
And I love your wife. I
Right.
I respect her greatly. But what was she possibly thinking giving those maniacs water balloons?
Your kids were well behaved.
Oh, why would she think that? Where would that come from? What possible reason would she have for that?
All right, Luce, have a good day.
See you, Lucy. Take care of those kids. There she goes. All right, now you can now tell the joke because I did bring up cocaine.
Oh, Jesus. I got to come up with new material.
No, you don't. It's been 25 years. We're going to come up with new material today?
This is Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right.
Yeah, 100%. Play the hits, dog. Play the hits.
Play the hits. So what's up in your world? What's going on?
Well, I want to know what's going on with your boy Scotty Scheffler.
Okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. You're good. Yes, I hear you fine.
Good.
What's going on with your boy Scotty Scheffler? Is he going to jump? Like, is he okay?
I don't know. That was kind of a weird.
It was bizarre.
It was kind of a weird deal, yeah. But I would say here's what I would say. There's more truth to what he said than athletes will give him credit for saying, and I wouldn't be shocked to see other guys say that. Honestly, I do think there are more guys and girls. There are more athletes who think that way, but are afraid to say it.
I have no doubt because I think that a lot of humans go through that. I don't think it's unique to athletes. I think we all have those moments.
Well, that's actually a good point. Like, and I won't say his name on the air. I had a friend who, I don't know, let me think about this. But I had a friend who in September of last September, who got a new job, sizable. I'm talking like $75,000. I'm talking about life-changing employment dynamics changing.
Okay.
Life-changing kind of a salary, $75,000 raise. I mean, like a massive, can't believe this happened to me. And 3 months ago, right around the Masters, I saw him, and he's like, hate it. Should have never done it. Don't know why I did it. I know why I did it, but I'm regretting it. It's not all it's cracked up to be. More money, more problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'd all love to see something like, we'd all love to have our boss come in and go, new gig for you, better office, 75 more grand, more travel on the private company jet, and then when it happens to you, you're like, really? This is what I signed up for.
Right. This is what was going to change my life. Yeah, correct.
Right. So I think I would say I think more people, and I'm only going to use golf because it as an individual sport, you don't always, you do get this in baseball a little bit. You do get this in football, like you win and the confetti falls and you're standing there, and for that moment you're the only person on the team. Yep. Like the confetti's falling, you've won the World Series, they're throwing T-shirts to you, and in that moment you're kind of like, man, I just won the World Series. You didn't, but that's the way you think in that moment. And golfers, when Scotty Scheffler wins the Masters or the PGA, there are a number of people involved. The tentacles of his performance go to his caddy and his trainer and his sports psychologist and his agent and his wife. But in that moment, you're standing there going, I just shot 14 under to win. And then you get home, and I think the next day or two, particularly for golfers who just the next 2 days later, they're in Seattle playing. Mm-hmm. And they get some people come up to them and give them a high five and nice job. But on Thursday, if they start off bogey, double, par, double, they're. Does that make sense?
I mean, to some extent, it makes. I know, I get it. I do get it, But I know you're bringing it up in terms of golf. I think it's something that a lot of people go through. 100%, a lot of people go.
100%.
It was just a
Totally
weird,
agree.
like I believe that they didn't, when I saw the clip, they didn't say what the question was. I found out later the question was like about what was your most crushing loss. It just felt like a weird time for that to be, that somebody was writing a story about golfers dealing with losses, and all of a sudden it just seemed like he was begging to open up about, I'm in a funkin' life. Like, it was just such a bizarre scenario for that.
I would also say this about him in particular. All of these things are about the person. I honestly don't know if you would have said to Scotty Scheffler in 2020, hey man, I saw the script. In 2025, you're going to have 17 career wins, 3 majors.
Right.
You're going to be
number one in the world.
The absolute number 1 player in the world.
Yeah.
You're going to have this idiosyncratic golf swing that a lot of people don't understand, but it's going to work for you, and you're going to be the best golfer on the entire planet. He would have said, I just don't see that.
Sure.
Whereas
it's
Tiger,
unlikely.
When Tiger won the Masters that year in '97, had you said that to Tiger, he would have said, well, of course. I never lost as a junior. I just beat all these chumps here in the Masters by 12 shots at age 20 or whatever he was, 19, 20, whatever he was. Of course I'm going to be the best player in the world. I have the best golf swing. I hit the ball further than anybody else. I honestly think this is a little bit, if you cut him open and asked him, I think this is a surprise to Scheffler.
That's interesting.
And I don't know that he understands why it's him. And I don't know if he understands, like, why is it me? That's what I think.
Okay.
I don't think he thought, he was a good college golfer. This is not one of one. People that don't follow golf probably don't understand that. He was not a can't miss kid. He wasn't. He was a good player in college. He went on the Korn Ferry Tour. He was a decent player there. Nothing great. He was just another guy. And then, he started winning out of nowhere.
They just kept winning. Yeah.
Couldn't lose.
No doubt. No doubt.
So I think there's a lot of interesting moving parts to this. And when he says I'm not comfortable with it, I do think that's kind of code word for I never thought this would happen to me. And so I'm very ill prepared for it.
Who's winning the golf tournament?
Well, I think a first timer is going to win.
Oh.
Meaning like a J.J. Spawn kind of guy. Like I think a first time major winner is going to win.
A Brian Harmon, if you will.
Correct. So, I threw 8 names out there over the last week at Drew's Morning Dish, all that fit the same profile. Hovland, Fleetwood, McIntyre, Oberg, Burns. I think it's going to be a Hovland, Sepp Straka, one of those two. If I had to bet. Speaking of betting, by the way, how pissed are you at Joey Chestnut for not getting to 71 and a half hot dogs?
Unbelievable. The guy should, I don't know how he walks around. I don't know how he looks himself in the mirror. I don't know.
70 and a half. Tell me something's not weird with that.
Oh, you think he was in on it? You think that he...
Maybe. I mean, the total was 71 and a half. He ate 50 in the first 4 minutes.
I understand. Well, I'm pretty sure that it gets a little bit more difficult as you go along. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Come on, man. Anyway, I would wager on those guys. I'm just telling you, a first-time kind of guy, Jonathan Vegas. I'm kind of happy Denny didn't play well last week. I think this is a nice golf course for Denny McCarthy. I know he hasn't putted great over the last 4 or 5 weeks, but flat greens over there, not a lot of trouble on the greens. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him play well. I think it's a first-time guy wins.
What did you watch any of that last night?
I did. I thought it was awful.
Really?
I did.
Why?
I thought the ending was awful.
Why did you think it was awful?
Because I think it goes a lot deeper than the way I wrote about it today. I think it goes a lot deeper than using a gimmick to end the game, because I don't dispute the notion in the regular season. I totally understand why they do it. I totally get it. I have my own nuance to the regular season thing. I do think they should play at least one more real inning before going to the gimmick. But on the surface, and I think you and I have agreed on this, on the surface, I get the idea of starting the inning with a runner on base, whether or not that should be first base, second base, whatever. I thought last night went way, way deeper than what you see in the regular season. I just don't like the idea of you saying that on a Tuesday night in July, the best players in baseball can't go one more inning. That has been negotiated for them. And again, this winds up being a much deeper discussion. It's not all about the players. It's about the fact that they were able to successfully negotiate their way out of actually playing baseball.
Well,
and that bothers me.
You think this is about the players. I don't think any of the teams want these guys even playing one inning. Like, I don't think this is a players thing at all.
And so then they just stop doing the game.
Well, I would agree with that. Like, I think this is part of it is every single the thought of anyone that you're paying this much money doing something in heat that isn't for the betterment of your team is contradictory to anything that any party involved wants.
I understand. So just get rid of the game. But that's why I say there's a deeper issue. And so when I say entitled, I don't necessarily. This guy's going to get hit right here in Delaney Valley Road. It's a red light, you goof. When I say entitled, I mean everyone, including the owners, I'm talking about everyone, and you hit right on it. If this at-bat or this inning doesn't translate to the Dodgers getting to the World Series, we aren't interested.
Correct.
That's it. Yeah,
correct.
You just said it, and that's it in a nutshell, right?
That's it.
We're not interested. And that's a byproduct. And again, I'm going to go now onto the get off my lawn moment. This is how the sport has changed, because X amount of years ago, whenever it might have been, 25, 30, 40, whatever, X amount of years ago, no one thought like that. They all thought this is an awesome opportunity to have these two leagues play against one another once a year and showcase the best players. And there was a time when the players were honored to be in the game.
Well, yeah, but Drew, come on. You are sounding like an old man yelling at a cloud.
I am, sure. Totally I am.
But there were genuine reasons for that. We couldn't watch these players play otherwise.
Correct. So then they ruined that by doing this stupid interleague stuff. Then they ruined. I get it. I totally get it. It doesn't mean that I should agree with it. It's like you're pining after 8-tracks. You know, like the concept is just gone. 8-tracks were great.
Yeah, I mean 8-tracks.
What are you talking about? 8-tracks were awesome. You could skip it. You sometimes the same song was on track 3 and track 4.
That is nice, right? Like, it's nice how that works out. Like we're so far.
Tell me that albums were
right? Yeah, I don't know. I loved albums, but we're so far removed from it that it's just almost like bizarre to yell. Like, dude, we're never getting that again.
Well, then last night, then all you got to do then to sew it up is figure out a better way to do it than you did it last night.
But what's a better way than that?
I start the guy on second base.
But they're not putting another pitcher out there. They're not. We used to do the bit. Everybody in Baltimore wanted Cito Gaston strung up and paraded through the streets because he didn't put Mike Messina into the game. And
Still do.
100%. We still hate Cito Gaston in this town. And all of these managers have said, in the 9-inning game, we're going to get every pitcher in so that none of these fan bases and none of these teams can be like, oh, I wasn't able to make social media content for the crap reliever that we had to have in the game because we had to have a representative because we're no good at baseball. So they have to use all the guys in the 9-inning game. They don't have any more pitchers. They're out of pitchers at that point.
Let Goofy Dave Roberts pitch.
That's fine. Let him pitch.
Do something, but you can't end it like that.
It's so weird that this is your take. Like, this is so bizarre.
No, not at all. You had a game that ended in a tie.
But it's not really a game. It's nothing.
Don't play it.
Again, I'm way more in favor of that argument than I am. There's a problem with what they did. It's not a baseball game. It's a silly exhibition hangout.
No, you're wrong. It's a baseball game for 2.5 hours. It suddenly doesn't become a baseball game when it's tied in the 9th inning. You're wrong about that.
It's not a baseball game. It's artificial. The pitcher, no, you know that's not true. The pitchers aren't allowed to pitch. It's not actually a baseball game. This is like saying the World Baseball Classic is real baseball. It's not. The pitchers aren't allowed to pitch. It's not really baseball. If it was a baseball game, then Tarek Skubal could go try to dominate for 6. Oh, no, he didn't do that last night. He could go try to dominate or Paul Skeens could go try to dominate for 6 innings to try to win the baseball game. It's not. It's artificial from the get. It is not a baseball game. It is nothing.
I disagree with that.
What's that?
That's fine.
Well, you can disagree with it all you want.
Disagree on that, but that's fine.
They create artificial rules from the moment the game begins. That's fact. Like, that's not debatable. You can have the best pitcher in the world, and he's not allowed to pitch. It's why the World Baseball Classic's a joke, and the fact that we talk about it like it's an actual championship of some sort is nonsense. Paul Skeens is going to participate, but not really participate. He's not allowed to try. It's bull-ass.
No, he's allowed to try. He just can't try for as long as he wants.
Yeah, and there's a limit to that, too. If his team has said, well, in the ramp-up period, we don't want you throwing at 100 miles an hour, then he's not allowed to throw at 100 miles an hour because he's got to ramp up for his season. And if they say we can't have you stressing your arm 3 weeks before the season begins, then he's not allowed to be Paul Skeens either. It's not real. It's a dance. That's all it is. And we pretend like it's baseball.
Get rid of it. Stop doing the game then.
I'm listening to that. I'm listening to it.
Just stop doing it.
So you're saying you're not in favor of a swing off to end baseball games moving forward?
Oh no, I think it's a great idea.
You're totally on board.
Where'd you come up with that?
Did you see the video of the guy that was drunk on the golf course and got tossed into the pond by the hockey player?
Oh my gosh, insane!
So great.
And that's why you don't. And that's why you don't get. That's why you don't. You don't get involved in a fight with someone who you don't.
You have no idea who it is, right? It's like you have no clue.
Not smart at all.
You have no idea who the guy is. You're just. I mean,
but that guy. That's a meme for life. That guy.
Oh
right?
Man. Oh, that's who he is for eternity. This is who he is. Now look, man, we've all been there. I woke up one morning and said, God, I feel terrible today. I could barely lift my neck, and I started asking my buddies, hey man, like, did anything happen last night? And he's like, yeah, you don't remember when you tried to wrestle an all-state wrestler over a girl? I said, I gotta be honest with you, I don't remember that. He said, yeah, it didn't go well for you. Like, we've all been there. We've all had a moment where we had just a little too much to drink and we didn't know what we were doing. And so we'll dunk on the guy forever. But I give the guy, I saw his follow-up video. He's like, yeah, I'm an idiot. Like, I'm just an idiot.
Right.
Like, I have no way to defend myself. I'm just a massive idiot. What's going on with you? Are you doing the show this week?
Yes, Sunday. British Open talk.
And the British Open will be over, so you'll be recapping the British Open at that point.
Yeah, British Open will be over. And, this is pretty much... I wouldn't say this defines who's going to make the Ryder Cup, but it comes pretty close because the points are double. Spawn went from outside looking in to pretty much on the team by winning the U.S. Open. And if something wonky happened and, like, Burns won the British Open, he would effectively move in. He'd be on the team. If one of those outside, one of those guys ranked 10 to 20 wins, it's going to be close for them, especially if they played well in one of the other, like Harris English, who finished second in the PGA. If he were to win he was on my list too. If he were to win this week, he'd make the team. So there's a lot of moving parts for the U.S. Ryder Cup wise. Most of those guys are also trying to make the FedEx Cup, but Ryder Cup wise, this is very close to determines the team. So it's my favorite. It's not the best tournament of the year. The Masters is the best one for everything like spring, golf's back, unbelievable golf course, incredible tradition, blah, blah, blah. But this is my favorite tournament of the year.
You gonna ask?
I love the British Open.
You gonna ask or not?
No, because I already know who you think's going to win. You think Matt Fitzpatrick's going to win.
Everybody knows that about me. Huge Matt Fitzpatrick guy. Everybody knows that about me. No, man, come on. He's due. It's due. It's time. I think this
Tom
one's
Watson?
Chi-Chi. This one's his. This one's going to be his. All right.
That would really be a nice trick.
It would be an amazing story, wouldn't it? You think Tom Watson nearly winning a few years ago was a good story. What a story.
Right.
All right, dog. Enjoy your. What are you doing today? Oh, you're going and getting your teeth taken care of. Enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, we all made a big mistake by not getting in the dental business.
There's no doubt about that. No doubt about it. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
That's Drew Forrester, drewsmorningdish.com. We come back in. We are scheduled to meet Orioles first-round pick, Ike Irish, and his father. They're going to join us. His father was a baseball player, too. It's a really neat story. We like doing this. So that's coming up next. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Is the volume up on the... Well, this could be even more interesting. This could be far more captivating. I'll just continue talking for now, but we definitely are going to have to be able to do this at some point during the show. So this will be fun. I'll remind everybody that today's show is also brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone is the website. Everything you need to know about high school sports, you can find it by going to CountySports.zone. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. No, there's nothing going on right now, but they'll start getting you ready for football season and news, updates, coaching changes. Find it at CountySports.zone. Here's my suggestion. Close the program. Oh, you got it? That's what it was. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I've been a fan of the Costas and Katrina Topolo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner. Same great Costas feel. Same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Cays Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
Summer just got a ho lot merrier at Live Casino. Win your share of $30,000 during Christmas in July. Earn entry starting July 1st. Dash in on Saturday, July 26th to be one of 50 winners to unwrap top-of-the-line electronics, home appliances, free play, and other great gifts. Go all in on good cheer at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland,
risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCRs. Continue along on a would you. My apologies. We're getting to get it all worked out before it ever gets to air, I promise. We will edit everything before anything gets to air. We will get everything fixed and solved. It's okay. Grant's in this week filling in for Griffin, and everything, of course, is broke the week that Grant's in here. That's okay. These things happen. All right, it's a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. We've done this over the years, and it's always really, to me, one of the more special conversations we have every year. As baseball, we talk about it all the time, tends to be a game about fathers and sons. And I spent my week last week down at the beach just playing wiffle ball all week with my two boys. And a monsoon playing wiffle ball with them. They're 10 and 8. And our next guests, one first-round pick of the Baltimore Orioles out of Auburn, Ike Irish. He's joined today by his father, a baseball player who played in the Toronto Blue Jays system. His name is Jeff Irish. And the Irishes are with us this morning here on GCR. Ike and Jeff, it's Glenn here in Baltimore. It's great to meet you. Congratulations. Jeff, I'm actually going to start with you. Thank you for taking the time for us. Can you put into words, this is selfish for me because I'm a dad. Can you put into words what this week has meant to you as a father and for your son to have this moment?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. Pleasure to be on with you. Just surreal would be one way to describe it. I thought one day I would play in the big leagues, and that I just flat out I wasn't good enough. And then to be able to mentor a son or mentor any baseball player and then have them in a position that Ike has put himself in has been beyond rewarding, and I couldn't be more thankful. He's put in a ton of hard work, and to watch him mature over the years and those sorts of things. And so I would describe it in two ways. One, a surreal moment for us as a family and as a dad and as a baseball father, and then to watch your kid have an abundance of success because of the hard work they've put in over the years is just a really awesome opportunity. And I'll be forever grateful. And whatever Ike does in professional baseball, so few kids have this opportunity. And so I'm super excited. I've seen him deliver time and again, and have no doubt that he'll deliver for the Orioles organization as well.
I want to know what the moment was like for you, but in particular, we saw Auburn shared a video of you guys in the house watching, and sharing that moment with your dad and knowing, everything he's done for you. Ike, it's great to meet you, first of all, and congratulations. Can you tell us what that meant to you?
Yeah, I would say it is super stressful. A draft is like none other. You have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of emotions, but it was a lot of fun to just spend it with family and people who have been around me throughout this journey.
Can you share with us, being the son of a baseball player, did you always know? Like, was it always baseball for you? Was it, did you have to try other things? And what was the best advice that your dad gave you as you were going through your baseball journey?
No, it was hockey and football and then basketball. And then, I don't know, my junior year of high school, it was finally like, oh, it's baseball. And I think, the best advice my dad gave me was just, leave it at the field. life's long, and baseball is probably like 6 hours a day, and just whatever you do, success or fail, just leave it at the field.
Jeff, as a baseball dad, were you hoping that Ike was going to choose baseball, or maybe given your own story and the difficulties of the game, was there a part of you that maybe hoped that he was going to do something else because of that?
Well, truth be told, in my life, I'm a football first guy.
Okay.
And it's a contact sport, and I loved collisions. And Ike was a really good football player, very, very talented as a quarterback there. And I thought at one time he might have an opportunity to potentially do both in college. And so I didn't really care what he pursued, but his whole life he's been a really, really good athlete. And I just wanted him to pursue whatever he was passionate about, and then throw everything he had behind that passion. And in his case, it was baseball. And I learned a long time ago, as a parent, it did for me, it doesn't matter. I just want my kid to be happy, and whatever they pursue in life, at some point you got to live beyond athletics. But athletics has taught me so much as a man about how to deal with failure. And so I think in adversity, and I think that it teaches such great lessons. And so that was for me the important part, because the after athletics life is more important than the life through athletics. But athletics does give you an awesome platform to reach out and touch the lives of others. And that's what I'm hoping Ike will continue to do. He's done that at Auburn, and as a professional now, I hope that will continue.
Jeff, it rings so my here in Maryland, lacrosse is a huge thing. I don't know, in Michigan there's certainly some lacrosse, and my kids, when they were toddlers, we had them playing lacrosse, and they came to me when they were about 6, 7, and they said, "Hey, we don't know that we love lacrosse," and I said, "That's fine, as long as you're doing something, right? Like, you don't have to play lacrosse, but I need you to do something." Because of those lessons that you just talked about, and that's how they actually fell in love with baseball, is they just wanted to give it a try, and that's the way that it worked. Ike Irish, Jeff Irish are with us here on GCR. Ike, for you, why was it baseball? What was it about the game that made you decide this was what you wanted to fixate on and focus on and stay with?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's all about I like to compete, and I have a lot of fun doing that. And in baseball, you get to do it as more times than any other sport in the world. Football is like 12 weeks, 17 weeks in the NFL, and baseball's 162 games in the MLB and like 130 in the minor leagues. And so to be able to strap it up 130 times or 162 times is very fun to me.
Look, man, I completely understand that feeling, right? Like practice for a lot of people is not a lot of fun, but competing, it's what gets your juices flowing. Jeff, if I could, your experiences with baseball, right? Ike pointed out the lessons that you taught him. What did you want him to know from your own experiences playing the game, the successes, the failures? What did you want him to take from your baseball experience as he went on his journey?
I think one of the things I really tried to impress upon Ike was that playing baseball every day is really, really hard. And that you absolutely have to love the grind, and you have to be all about the grind, because that is going to be what allows you to be successful. There's a reason that you play baseball every single day. It's because hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things to do on the face of the planet athletically. And so I wanted him to know that he was committing to a sport that demanded excellence every single day. And you have to show up, and you have to put in that grind every single day. And if you don't want to do that, that's okay. But just know that's what you're signing up for.
Jeff, was there a moment for you that it strongly or recognized to you, like, he can do this? He can do this at a high level. Was there a moment for you as a dad where it wasn't just, hey, I enjoy watching my son play, but it really struck with you, this could be what he does?
That's hard hard to answer, Glenn, because I've seen him be very successful athletically his whole life. And I saw him show up in big moments in various contests, specifically football and baseball. And, people talk about an it factor. And I witnessed that from him again and again. I don't know that there was one particular moment in time that I can recall where I thought, he's got a chance. I mean, I'm biased. I'm his dad. I've
Sure.
always have thought he's got a chance to be successful. But I think one body of work that stood out for me was his freshman season at Auburn, and having nothing given to him, showing up on campus and getting phone calls from Ike. I'm not a helicopter dad. I don't proactively reach out to Ike and say, "Hey, what'd you do today? How'd you do in the scrimmage?" I wait for Ike to talk about it, and I usually wait for him to bring up the topic of baseball. And what impressed me was I would get phone calls attending a high school football game. Ike had just competed in a scrimmage down at Auburn, and he said, "Hey, Dad, I hit one out of the park today." And and then watching his body of work during his freshman season and competing in the SEC against some super high level pitching and having an abundance of success there, that to me is where it became real. Like, hey, he's a good player, but he has an opportunity to be really special someday. And more important than Dad's opinion was the opinion of others that were watching him play during the season as well, and what some coaches' comments were and so forth. Like, he is performing at an elite level, and he's maturing right before our eyes and all those different things.
That's cool. I remember reading, and we were talking about it with Coach Thompson the other day, that when you got to Auburn, you didn't know that you intended to be there for very long. Can you walk me through what that evolution was like, and why you ended up staying for a while, and how much you feel like that's helped prepare you for this moment as you become a pro?
Yeah, I got down to campus. I knew I'd have an opportunity in the draft, and I was kind of just like, I wanted to take it. And then I got to know some of the other recruits that were in my recruiting class, and we became really good friends. A guy like a Hayden Murphy who just got drafted, and we kind of were in the same spot. Like, we both could have an opportunity to be picked, and then we kind of just did the summer workouts, took a class, and then we were kind of like, man, we love it down here, and I don't think we're ready to go explore the unknown yet. We love Auburn. We love the town. We loved our coaches, and then it was kind of a no-brainer for me to go down and stay in school.
Man, and looked at how that worked out. It turned out to be an okay decision for you. Can I ask, did you ever get a chance to meet Gunner at all? Like, I know he's back in Auburn regularly, not during baseball season. Did you ever come across him? Did you have any relationship with him whatsoever?
No, but I remember my freshman year, me and a couple of my buddies were sitting at one of our football games, and everybody's like, "Oh, there he is. That's Gunner." Yeah. And to say we were a little too nervous to talk to him, yeah, that was real.
I hope there's going to be a lot of conversations now. I hope that perhaps moving forward there may be some football games you go to together moving forward. That would be really, really cool. Jeff, when you find out, you go through this process, when you find out it's the Orioles, right? Like, what goes through your mind? Do you need to know, given your own history, like, do you need to know about the organization? Do you find yourself, like, wanting to know who, as a dad, who the coaches are? Are you able, you mentioned you're not a helicopter dad. Are you able to just say, hey, I trust these guys, I don't need to know any of that stuff? What is the role like now that you know where the home is going to be?
For me, I just want to know he's going to be in good hands and surrounded by great people. And I have every confidence that that's going to be the case with the Orioles. They're in professional baseball for a reason. And my my bias in life is to implicitly trust people and until proven otherwise. And so I believe in the hands of the Orioles, he's going to be in a great spot. They develop players well, and that's what I care about. And more important to me than baseball, and this may seem crazy because we're on here talking about baseball, but it's all the other things in life that are so important beyond baseball. And just being a good dude, being a having the ability to contribute to a crazy world in a positive and meaningful way. And to me, that's as a dad, that's if that's all that happens. If Ike is just a major contributor to society, I'm a happy fellow. And baseball's going to take care of itself, but I don't need to know the ins and outs. Just know that they're going to have Ike's best interest in mind and figure out where he fits best within their system and give him an opportunity. And that's all I've ever asked for is give me or give my son an opportunity, and let's see what he does with it.
I'm going to ask him about it, but Jeff, I'm going to ask you about it first because I think the story, from this year is well known. Of what Ike went through with the injury and having to run out and play in the outfield instead of being behind the plate. When you reference being a good person and improving the world, like what did it mean to you as a dad to see him do anything he could, going through that and do anything he could to try to help the team, even if it wasn't the initial plan?
So I think that's where one of the things I'm most proud of with Ike is that he saw the benefit of him playing, because one of the things I don't think I heard Coach Thompson say this when you interviewed him the other day was there were some significant injuries with outfielders on Auburn's squad as well. And when Ike got hit by the pitch and it fractured the tip of his scapula and he wasn't able to catch, and the pounding of the baseball on his receiving hand, but wanting to contribute to the success of the team because I knew this team could be really good. And he legitimately sacrificed so that this team could win more baseball games. Because if Ike would have told Butch Thompson and company, I came here to catch, I have to catch, Butch told me verbatim, we will absolutely catch Ike every single inning of every single game.
Wow.
And yet I saw him go out in the right field and excel. And though that wasn't a natural position for him, he is an athlete. And I think that that's what the Oriole fans of tomorrow and thinking about playing in the minor leagues will begin to appreciate is he can move pretty well and he's got a very strong arm. And that's showcased very well in right field. And so for him, to be able to sacrifice for others is what, part of life is about. And winning is so important to Ike. He would tell you himself he hates to lose. And so knowing that he could contribute and add more given the outfield injuries and what, Frelick presented behind the plate as, a good catching alternative, that, it was better for the team. And, it helped Ike recover fully, and he still caught a few innings. But the reality is he sacrificed for the betterment of the team.
I'll go to that, right? Can you take me through what you were feeling? You go through the scapula injury. You want to get back on the field. Walk me through what you thought about, whether you questioned it at all, and what you felt like it did for you to help you improve as a baseball player to maybe do something a little bit different this season.
Yeah, I think if you look at, my first half of the season, it was pretty bad just overall. I think I was sitting around like 250, no home runs. Then I get, fractured a scapula, which is a weird injury. And then, they throw me out in the outfield because we just couldn't catch. And then personally, I got red hot at the plate, and then our team did as well. And so there was no point to mess with the good juju that we had going on. And so we kind of just wrote it out like that. And I mean, there really wasn't a discussion or a thought of, we're going to switch things up because we were winning as a team and we were being successful. And so there was no reason to switch things up.
Can I assume that you would like to catch? I know that the answer is always like, I'm going to do whatever the team wants me to do. I know that that's what it is, but do you still view catching as part of your baseball future?
Yeah, I think every position, I don't really care. If I can hit, I'll be happy. I don't care where it is. It's catcher, right field, left field, first base, DH. To me, it doesn't matter. If I can hit, that's what I love to do. And if I can play defense at a high level anywhere, I'd like to do that as well.
Ike, what does it mean to you to be a part of the Baltimore Orioles organization, and what would you want Orioles fans to know that they're getting in Ike Irish?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best organizations in baseball. They take care of their players really well. I got a couple of buddies that went to Auburn who are in the Orioles system, and they just love it. And so I'm really looking forward to that. And then what they're getting in me is kind of an old school player. Old school. I just describe myself as an old school player.
I love that. I love everything. Hair on fire, is that a fair way to describe it?
Yeah, hair on fire, just hustle, and everything old school there is. That's what I try and be.
That's everything that you could ask for in a baseball player. Jeff, you mentioned that we talked about this with Coach Thompson. There was a lot made about Ike and how he grew as a leader. What did you see from that? As again, as someone who knows the game the way that you do, what did you see in your son and the way that he continued to grow and develop as a leader during his college career?
I thought early and often he was kind of quiet. And, when I would challenge him on that, like, son, you're a leader. And this team, as you progress, this team is going to need you to lead more and more. And he said, Dad, I want to lead by actions first. And then when appropriate, I'll start using words. And I'm paraphrasing. I doesn't use the word appropriate very often. Those are bad terms. But that was the reality. He's like, I want to show first. And because what I say doesn't matter if I don't deliver. So I'm going to deliver first, and then I'm going to start getting more vocal. And so, through his sophomore campaign, and then he had an ankle injury, during that time as well, had a little bit of a hand injury. So, there were some struggles there physically for him in his sophomore season, but he started to become more and more vocal as that season went on. And then, and that wasn't a great season for Auburn baseball. They lost a lot of one-run baseball games, and it was hard. And yet everybody on that team persevered. They came together in the fall, and I knew when I saw a few fall scrimmages that team was, they brought in some extra pieces and through the transfer portal and got some good freshmen on the squad. And so I was really excited about the season, but in those scrimmages, I saw the same player that I saw in his junior and senior years of high school, where, Ike was a vocal leader on that team. And so, and I think that's the right way about going about doing your business, is show first and talk later. And so I thought he went about it the right way. And from a maturity standpoint, just the conversations that he and I have now are way different than, his freshman year. Wow. And so I just, I don't think most males, their frontal lobe of their brain ever develops until they're 24, 25. And
sometimes, no different. Let's be honest, sometimes later than that.
I'm still developing myself. So
yeah, I still talk about sports for a living. I still haven't hit that in my life. Like, is that what you would say you would bring, to the pros? That, like, where I think that word that your dad used is appropriate. Where appropriate, you're prepared to lead, but maybe you don't want to force it.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. I think I need to perform first in order to be able to say some things. I mean, there's some really good players in the Orioles organization. So, yeah, I would just say I'd have to perform at a high level for probably a good amount of time before I really start saying some stuff.
All right, so this is the important question. We saw it with the Rallies the other night. if one day, Ike Irish, you're participating in a home run derby, is Dad your pitcher, or would you have to say, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can trust that he's going to be able to get the ball over the plate the way that I needed it to?
Let me answer.
Okay.
No chance. No chance.
Well, no, Dad, why is that?
Because my BP is less than desirable. Most former catchers do an amazing job at throwing
Yeah.
BP. I've gotten better over the years, but Ike's got a favorite BP thrower.
Okay.
He can tell you about.
Ike, you're confirming the answer is no?
Yeah, it'd be hard to compete with my dad throwing.
I appreciate that. All right, Ike, quickly, what else do we need to know about you when you're not playing baseball? What would we find you doing in the off season? You get a weekend. Where would we find you? What would you be up to?
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. I try to do three things. I try to golf, and I'm a bogey golfer. So if I can shoot a 90, it's a good day.
I was gonna say, when you play against Dad, who wins?
Oh, me. He's He's more than a bogey golfer. He's about a double. So I'm a bogey golfer, and I'm a very good bowler, and then I like to whitetail deer hunt.
What?
And
okay, wait. Have you? What's the highest score you've ever gotten bowling? Have you threatened 300?
Yeah, no, it's like 267.
Oh, still, holy crap!
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll get you connected. I'm sure you got to know Ben McDonald at some point when he was doing college games down there. Maybe get you out hunting with Ben at some point, because I keep telling him I'm going to join him, and I haven't been able to get down to Louisiana yet, but he always leaves the invite open to make that happen. Ike, Jeff, we're so happy for both of you, and can't wait to get to know you more as you get into the system and we start seeing you on this path. Congratulations. Truly, there's something really special about watching these moments for fathers and sons. And so, Ike, I'm happy for you, but Jeff, truly, as a dad, I'm really emotionally happy for you, and getting to see you live this out with your boy. Thank you both so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Yeah, thank you. We're beyond thankful.
Ike, Jeff, great to meet you, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks, Ike. Ike and Jeff Irish, of course, Orioles first-round pick, and his father, a baseball player in his life. Boy, those are neat, man. I don't even remember what the first one of these was. It was sort of like a happy accident, the way that this happened. I wish I could remember. It might have been Adley and Randy. That was the first one, and I mentioned I got to know Randy really well, and he was a coach, and there's just something special about fathers and sons and baseball. And I'm not trying to say that it's not like that in other sports. There aren't, hockey or basketball. But I don't know what it is about baseball. It's something about playing catch. I'm gonna get emotional. I don't want to get emotional, but there is no joy in my life that compares to just throwing a baseball with my sons. Nothing. The joy that I feel when I'm just tossing a baseball around with my boys is unlike anything I experience. There's something about fathers and sons and baseball, and I don't know how to explain it. And so I love doing these with both these guys. I love that. I love hearing the perspective of what it means to Jeff. It's why I get so enamored by the dad's trip that the Orioles do every year. I think that's great, right? I love that. Happy for those guys. And I appreciate, Ike Irish is obviously there's a lot of catchers in the Orioles system, right? And we've made a lot about that. Not just starting with Adley Rutschman and Samuel Basayo, but Creed Willems, and the list goes on. They bring in Bodine right after they pick Ike Irish. So his attitude is, yeah, man, I'll play anywhere. Just let me play. That's the part that I care about, and that's powerful, and I greatly appreciate that. So thanks again to Ike and to Jeff Irish for taking the time for us. Let's just move right along. We'll skip this break. We'll get to it after we talk to John Rallo here in a second. We're winding down hour number 1 of today's program. Today's show is brought to you by the Maryland 5-Star, which is back in Cecil County this October. the place to be. It's not just a world-class sporting event. It's not just the Triple Crown of Equestrian. It's also a celebration of the fall in Maryland. And if you've never experienced it before, you got to experience it. Maryland 5-star with a number 5.us. Maryland 5star.us in order to get your tickets, which are on sale now. We're going to call John Rallo. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate that. We'll give him a call, and we'll talk to him. Just a thought, because we'll get to Would You Rather Wednesday before the show ends. I did love, unlike Drew, I loved the swing off. For an all-star game, it's perfect. It's perfect. I loved it. It was, as I said before, there are few things that are going to get me to tune into an all-star game ever. Ever. But that got me to tune in. People were talking to me about it. They're like, hey, man, the game's getting tight late. We could end up with this goofy home run derby to end the game. And I was like, all right, I forgot they did that. And I flipped over. And I also got to see a challenge, which I liked. The ABS system, I was happy to see that because that was one of the reasons why I was tuning in. Big fan. Big fan for the All-Star game. It's exactly what it is that they should be doing. 100% makes sense for Major League Baseball to continue with the swing off. And who knows? It might never happen again. It was a 6-0 game. It was unlikely it was going to happen last night. But I loved it. Tomorrow night, I'm looking forward to being a part, once again, of what it is that the folks at Show Your Soft Side do. And our Softie Homecoming is out in Owings Mills. And our next guest, in addition to being the godfather of mixed martial arts here in the state of Maryland, in many ways is the godfather of what we do with Show Your Soft Side. He has been at the forefront of this, and he is an unabashed cat guy, which always, every time I see a picture of him holding a cat, it's just one of my favorite things in the world because you're looking at a mountain of a man just holding a cat, and it's the wildest thing. He is our friend John Rallo from Ground Control, and he's back with us now here on GCR. John, it's Glenn. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, what's happening, Glenn?
Everything good, man? What's going on in your world?
Yeah, you know, at the gym at the moment, I'm getting ready to go next door to teach class today. But other than that, everything's good. If you had trouble hearing me, let me know, and I'll just pick the phone up.
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy. I'll say that. It's a little tough to hear you, if that's all right. I appreciate it. You're good, man. I appreciate you. So
there you go. Is that any better?
Yeah, it's great. I don't know if you remember this, but we talked last fall, and we do this football picks league. It's me and Jeremy and some of the other guys, Ken Zales, that you know, and I was the loser, and that means that I have to take 4 strikes of your choice at some point. Now, we got to figure out the day. Yeah, 4 strikes, which is the dumbest thing I've ever agreed to. Now, I have, for what it's worth, I've taken strikes from John Jones as a goofy charity bit over the years. And I know that he certainly wasn't, giving me everything he's got because I survived. And if he wanted to, he could have ended me. Just so I know, what 4 strikes do you think would be your choice for this particular punishment?
Well, probably the easiest spot is a leg kick. Those are the best spots to go.
Oh.
I don't know what else you would do. You get punched in the liver, the sternum.
I'm gonna die.
You're not just
I'm gonna die.
You in the arm.
Yeah.
So you would do some leg kicks or something. Maybe you do a leg kicks with a pad on too, and see if it helps.
Oh God, man! Am I gonna be able to walk after this? That's the real question.
Maybe later, not right away.
I'm gonna need a minute or 2. God. All right. Well, we're gonna do that. We're gonna make that happen. John, for those that don't know your story and your background and your history, I know we've talked about it before, but getting involved with Show Your Soft Side, why it was something that's so important to you, and why it continues to be something that I know you dedicate so much of your time to over the years.
Yeah, I think just, I have a love of animals, had multiple pets when they came to ask me to, to do the campaign. the Michael Vick stuff was going on at the time. So they were trying to show that, athletes, it's cool to be nice to your animals and not, have any kind of animal abuse. And I always say the same thing, like it's cool to be able to get out and represent the animals because they can't really represent themselves.
I always talk about the juxtaposition of a man your size holding a cat. And you've told the story before, but your history with cats particular, why you became such a cat person.
Well, I think that happened by accident. As far as me and the cats, like I wound up getting the cat who was in the picture with me, and he kind of converted me because he might as well have been a dog. Like he came when you called him, he'd be at the door waiting for you, all that kind of thing. But at the time when the campaign was starting up, and they asked, it was myself, Adam Jones, and Jared Johnson. Adam and Jared did their dogs, and I had a pit bull and all that we could have did, but my cat was not doing well. He was sick. So, like we were giving him IV fluids and all that stuff at home. So in my mind, this was an opportunity to get a good picture of the two of us together. And, and by taking the picture, and like you said, the juxtaposition of the cat and myself, like my picture got the best response.
No doubt.
Out of everybody's, I think just because of that. And automatically, you know what I mean, I became the cat representative. And look, I've had many. We've had 2 pass away recently, so I have 2. We had 4. Probably about 6. Within 6 months ago. But we still have 2. Still have one that we adopted from Barks, actually a Paul Jack Runway event. And then the other one we took from a relative who couldn't keep the cat anymore, so we took it in.
Man, I love it. I love everything about you, the cat guy. It makes me very happy every time I see it. It's my favorite thing in the world, and I can't wait. Again, tomorrow night, Softie Homecoming. We're going to be out in Owings Mills, the Marriott Owings Mills Metro Center. You can go to showyourSoftside.org right now. There are still a couple of tickets available. Opportunity to rub elbows with not just John, but some very well-known football players in town. And it's an amazing event, great food, and the important part is that we want to get these animals homes. That's the most important part of what we're doing with Softie Homecoming.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you have guys like Ronnie Stanley, former Raven and current Commander Chris Moore.
Yep.
Taylor Matakevich, I believe he plays for Pittsburgh now.
Yeah, we don't love that part of it, but we love him.
Right.
We love him.
Right.
He's a great dude.
But and it's for the price of your ticket, you're getting food and you're getting beer, wine, mocktails, and Tito cocktails. And some of the restaurants that are going to be there with their food are like Jimmy Seafood, the local, which is like Evolved Hospitality Group. Fogo de Chao, let's see, State Fair. I know Santoni's is coming doing some catering. So, and again, there's also a silent auction that's online too that people can go out and bid on items.
Yeah.
And all the money goes to the charity. So, you don't get to say that often about a lot of these charities. Usually 80% of it's going to management. But 100% of this money does go to the animals.
It's what makes it so important. And, yeah, included in that silent auction, I know a lot of people upset they weren't able to get Savannah Bananas tickets. There's an opportunity in the silent auction for you to get those.
There's a week to a house in France in the silent auction.
I mean,
so pretty cool stuff.
I'm getting on that, right? Like, my wife is going to scream at me if I don't.
Right.
John, while I got you, I want to talk about, because I just mentioned, we all were able to get to know John Jones because of Arthur being here, and I have a complicated time talking about him because my emotions are tied to how far out of his way he would go to do charity stuff with me at the old radio station, right? Like he couldn't have done more for me over the years and for charities that I was involved with. I also know his story is far more complicated than that. If he is truly retired, if this really is the end, what is John Jones' legacy within the sport, within the sports community as a whole?
Well, I mean, I think within the sport, he's got to be the GOAT. I mean, he really never has lost a match. He's fought the highest level of competition. He got the belt at a super young age. I mean, he was like 21, maybe 22 tops. And he held the belt forever. And he beat a who's who of everybody that was in that division over, a decade of time. So, John's the most dominant athlete that's happened. Now he jumped the heavyweight and he's a two division titleist. I think his legacy in the sport can't be denied. I also believe he's not retired. Like, he's already entered the testing pool. His goal is to fight on the White House show is what the word is. And they're talking about him and Aspinall, if Aspinall is still the champ, fighting at that time. So I think you'll see him one more time out there.
Interesting.
As far as John's personal life and all, I think he's a guy that's a conflicted dude. He's had his good, he's had his bad. I think most of these guys who are, top level fighters are also, by nature, risk takers and like alpha personalities. And I think sometimes what makes them great in the cage or the ring can be
their downfall,
a detriment in society. You know what I mean?
It's really well, and that's the crazy part to me, because I think you're right that he's the greatest fighter of all time, and yet his story is still one of the greatest, like, what ifs in sports history. Like, what?
Yeah, because he's missed tons of time.
Right.
Too. Like his resume would be even more impressive, if he wasn't all for suspensions and and everything else that's going on. But he's done incredibly well for himself. He comes from a blessed family. I mean, both his brothers, NFL ball players. Mom and dad educated, so had a good upbringing. So, you really can't say much. I mean, John's a smart guy. You can hear that when you talk to him. Super high ring IQ as well. It's one of the things that's helped him be so successful. So, hey, John, he is what he is. Love him or hate him. He's got to be, in my opinion, the GOAT. Even above, like, I love GSP. I give him number 2. But, John would be number 1.
What do you make of the argument right now that there aren't enough megastars in the UFC at the moment? They have a problem with creating, like, truly captivating stars right now.
Yeah, I don't think they have any problems creating the stars. I think that the nature of the sport is such that nobody stays on top for long unless you're truly, truly elite. Like a boxer really is not getting famous until he's the champ or he's fighting for the title. And then you got to hold on to the title in order to really have your reputation and your status grow. So, you got guys right now like, and the other thing, not to be a nationalist here, but, John is an American.
100%, right?
And his first language is English.
Yep.
So he's easily promotable. Even Connor, he's Irish, but he's still
spoke
an English speaker, very gifted. He delivered on his talk in the ring, so that helped. Right now you have a guy like Islam Makhachev, who's a big star in the world of MMA, but is he super marketable because he's from Dagestan? English isn't his first language. So it's harder to market to the casual American fan. So I really think that's more the problem. I mean, you have a kid like Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley was as big as anyone, but he lost to Merab not once but twice. So it's hard to have that superstar, status if you're not the champion. That's my personal opinion. I think Merab is a guy who's got a real big star status. He's exciting. He's pretty funny on social media, so that helps. But I think, again, if you're a local guy and or even if you're foreign, but like Ilya Taporia right now, big star, does speak English well. He's not American guy, but that guy's been beaten up a who's who. And if he keeps it going, we may be talking about him being the GOAT one day.
That's really interesting. I certainly can see that, and I hate. You're right? Like, there's no doubt that this is just the way that it works. Like, if English-speaking we're always going to be paying more attention. That's just sort of the nature of the beast, man. There's no doubt about it.
Now, if Aspinall can come out and start knocking out people, you know what I'm saying? Now maybe his status
grows.
Grow.
Yeah,
he's from England, but he does speak English, and his being from England didn't stop Tyson Fury from captivating the world. So, I think you just have to have the gift of gab, and you have to be able to deliver on your promises when you get in the cage.
Will we ever see Conor fight? Like, we all wanted the Chandler thing. Is it just never going to happen?
I don't know, man. This guy's more self-destructive than anyone, so we'll find out. Like, he's claiming he wants to fight in the White House event as well. He did say he would fight Mike Chandler on that event. He's been saying he's going to fight Mike Chandler
for like
the
3
last
years.
5 years.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So,
right.
you know, I'll believe it when I see it. I just think when a dude like that, who was a mess to begin with, gets all that money and all that power, now you get some of that I can do whatever I want in you. And, you know, it's hard to have the drive that made him a champion. You know what they say when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
That's a very fair point, right? Life is good. Life
you know,
is good, yeah.
When he's sleeping in his car, when he was homeless,
right.
You're getting up at 5 a.m. and running because you're trying to get somewhere. When you're sleeping on your yacht, maybe you're not trying to get up that day to go train. And I really think that's the dilemma. He's been so successful in and out of the ring business-wise that, you know, does he really still have the drive to get out there and do it?
John Rallo, such a central figure in everything that Show Your Soft Side does. Tomorrow night, Softie Homecoming. You can still get your tickets, showyoursoftside.org. And as John mentioned, the online auction, the silent auction, is open. And if you can't make it out, even if you're coming out, do both, right? Like, have a great night and get yourself a wonderful auction prize as well as you go to help the animals in our community. John, is there anything else we can plug for you, brother?
No, I mean, you know, for me, next thing coming up November 15th is Shogun.
Yep.
You know, so that, you know, that's coming on the horizon. And tomorrow night we're going to be out at the Owings Mills Marriott. So hopefully people will come see us. The Softie Alumni Reunion, showyoursoftside.org for tickets or to get in on the silent auction. The tickets are $150 and they include all your food and drinks for the evening, and all the money goes to a great cause.
It's an amazing event. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night. I hope that you will not murder me when we arrange the date for the strikes to happen. Always appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hopping on this morning.
All right, brother.
It's John Rallo, the godfather of mixed martial arts here in the state of Maryland, from Ground Control Shogun Fights. And, yeah, I am not looking forward to that. That was Anyway, all right, into hour number 2 of the program. If you missed it, Stan the Fan Charles, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson got together earlier this week. You can find that show, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open at the Grandstand in Timonium at the fairgrounds. Everything you love about the original Costas Inn. The only difference, they don't do steamed crabs there, but they do everything else that you love from the OG Costas Inn at the brand new Costas Inn in Timonium. We come back in, we're going to head out to Vegas. Juju Reese is participating in the Summer League with the Lakers. We'll catch up with him next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, go smoke at Profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Calling all athletes and families, don't miss Football versus Football, a free sports and wellness festival Saturday, July 19th from 10 to 6 at Baltimore Peninsula. Meet retired Ravens, other former NFL stars, and pro soccer players. Join youth sports clinics, get free health screenings, and enjoy food, music, and family fun. Powered by United Healthcare, presented by Sports Legacy Group, and supported by University of Maryland Orthopedics and 1-800-GAMBLER.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1975. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCR as continue along here on a Wednesday edition of the program. Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios are up at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Facebook. Get your responses in. When Griffin gets back, he will pick someone at random to win a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill just for responding for Would You Rather Wednesday. One in particular has gotten more attention than the others today. Grant and I will go over those scenarios before we wrap up today's show. Had to do this a little bit earlier because of his schedule out in Vegas, but had the chance to spend a few minutes with a Baltimore guy, Juju Reese, now with the Lakers, right here on GCR.
Well, it's always a pleasure to catch back up with our next guest, of course, a Baltimore legend, the University of Maryland legend, and he's out at the Summer League in Vegas as an LA Laker. He is Juju Reese, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Juju, it's Glenn. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for taking the time for us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Dude, what is this like? You're a Los Angeles Laker. Like, you're putting on that uniform and playing for the Lakers. Can you put that into words right now?
Yeah, it's just an honor. Just being able to play for a professional team this summer. Just trying to take it one day at a time to get better every day and just be a sponge to all the vets I'm around right now and just trying to be the best player I can be.
I'm assuming, knowing you, that as frustrated as it probably was for you to not hear your name called in the draft, you sort of like rolled your eyes and said, all right, let's go to work. Like, this is just the nature of who you are, that the hard road is not all that difficult for you.
Yeah, just staying ready at all times, just finding where I could fit in at. I obviously didn't get my name called on draft night, but I feel like God has a plan for me, and I just got to put my work in and just find out.
What is it like just being out there and getting that first taste of the NBA, right? And I get it. It's a lot of guys that you've gone up against before and are your contemporaries, but what are the first things that you kind of notice about what it's like making this jump and now being a professional?
Yeah, I feel like it's more attention. You have to be more attention to detail. It's like a lot of the little things. Everybody pretty much is at the same level. Everybody's a professional. Just the guys that, pay attention to the little things, just develop themselves in the little ways that they can. But those are the ones that have the advantage over others. So I feel like if I do that, I'll be good.
We know, obviously, the development that you made just at your time at Maryland, right? And you and I talked a lot about the free throws earlier this year. How much did you feel like you were adapting your game more and more to what is expected at the NBA level, where obviously, like, everyone has to be a shooter, and there is no natural rim protector the way that there was once upon a time. Bigs are expected to stretch out and play.
Yeah, just finding my way in their offense and just trying to figure out what they want me to do. Just doing my job, watching a lot of film, and just I feel like just me expanding my game will come as the years go, and just as these months go, I'm just expanding my game, and just doing those things. I'm straight. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Juju Reese is with us here on GCR. Juju, if you would, let's work back just a couple of months. Like in hindsight, we made a lot of it. Dopes like me, what was going on with you guys going into the Florida game? It with the benefit of hindsight, was that an impact on you guys? Would you say, hey, look, they were a really good team. We know that they won the national championship, right? Like, was it a difficulty dealing with everything that you guys were dealing, or did we make too much of that from the outside?
Yeah, I feel like you guys kind of made too much of it from the outside because it was kind of a new thing in college basketball. It was going to probably be a whole new team the next year either way. So it was like we were really close as a team, but we understand the business side as well. So it's probably going to be a lot of people graduating, a lot of people going to the next level, like Derek, just me, Derek Selton, a lot of those guys, a lot of guys transferring the next year. So it was kind of like we kind of knew it was our last ride either way. So we weren't really paying attention to that type of stuff. We was just focused on the basketball and trying to make the best out of the 1 year we had together.
That's really interesting to hear you say that. I've talked to some other guys who like this is just the way that it works now, right? Like we all kind of understand it. Everybody's doing their own thing, and we kind of worry about ourselves.
Yeah.
You feel like this is, but the relationship now, right? Because I know Derek's made some jokes with like Kevin. That's your guy, obviously. Like you were with him for a few years. What is that like now? Do you say, "Hey, that's my guy," or "I'm a Maryland guy, I can't have him"? Like, what is that? Who gets who in the divorce in this situation?
I'm a Maryland guy at heart, but Kevin, Coach Willer, he has been with me the most of my college career, so that's probably where most of my loyalty goes with coach wise. Coach Buzz is a great coach, and I've heard a lot about him. I've met him. He seemed like a pretty cool guy, but the relationship I have with Coach Willard is kind of more strong because I've known him from longer. But in my heart, Maryland, the school in itself is where I'm at.
You said you met him. Was that before all of this? Like, did you meet him when he was like recruiting you or something like that?
No, I've met him. I've met him at PIT.
Okay.
Coach Smith. Yeah.
Did you want to establish like now that you're an alum, like we've talked a lot, you and I, like you were a representative of Maryland, and your willingness to not just sign up and go there, but stay there is a testament and something that I think Maryland should be pushing to kids from this area, like, hey, be like Juju. Was it important to you to establish a relationship with him that you want to be involved with Maryland basketball moving forward to the new coaching staff?
Yeah, definitely. Just I feel like those things come naturally. He's kind of haven't been as pushy as like he hasn't been really pushy to kind of force a relationship that I appreciate. He just kind of let things grow and let each other like meet gradually, and we've had talks here and there, but I feel like the relationship's growing. He's only down the street from me, so I feel like it's kind of hard to ignore him anyways.
Right. It'd be kind of awkward. It'd almost be forced at that point if that were to be the case. I wonder if you talked to Jameer. It's funny because like Jameer had to go through this, right? Like he wasn't drafted and he grinded and he found his way onto a roster this year. Did you reach out to him at all? Or who else have you reached out to about this process and about what it takes in order to make sure that you're on an NBA roster and you get that opportunity?
Yeah, I've definitely talked to Jameer a lot, especially out here in Vegas. He's out here with the Bulls. I've talked to him, Dante, Eric, just all those guys. I've seen Fats in the airport one time through the pre-draft workout. So it's just a lot of the guys had different experiences. Like Fats went overseas and ended up going overseas, and just it's a whole bunch of different like point of views from it, and different perspectives. So I feel like I'm just grateful for that and having those vets to just teach me things like that. And Mir being the one I probably want to like the route I would want to go, just making it on the team. Just he's just been telling me just stay down, just grind, and everything will be good. Yeah.
Have you guys made Derek take everybody out for like a steak or anything like that yet?
Nah, Derek, he definitely owe everybody a steak though. Yeah.
That's gonna have to happen. Hey, you and I haven't talked like when he said what he said, that I'm from Baltimore, that's why, right? Like it resonated with so many people and it meant so much to so many of us. Can you tell me what that meant to you and like how much you have felt that in your blood, what it is that came out from him in that moment that night.
Yeah, it meant a lot. Just I feel like just playing with that confidence, just putting the city out there, just it meant a lot to the city. Just not probably maybe a lot of people didn't know where he's from. Nobody knew where he's from. Let's just say that, and he just just kind of emphasize that the basketball pipeline that we have going on there, and just kind of put it on the map a little bit more, and nothing bad with some awareness. Nothing wrong with some awareness.
I also feel isn't it like the representation of the chip that we all kind of carry on our shoulders here? Like it's just we're so used to being overlooked. We're so used to hearing about New York and Philly, and we do kind of have to thump our chest a little bit in those situations.
Yeah, you gotta brag about it a little bit.
Right? You gotta let everybody know that's who you're at. All right, priority between now and when you play in your first regular season NBA game. Juju Reese, what do you still want to have improved by that point?
Just my confidence as well. Just learning. I'm a pretty confident player as well, but just learning the game, the professional game is just a whole different game. Just adjust to that speed, the talking, and the intensity. Just having more understanding of that is fine. That's pretty much what I'm looking forward to.
And we're looking forward to seeing it, man. Hey, remind everybody how they can follow you on socials.
Reese 10 Julian on Twitter. That's pretty much it. I don't really get on Instagram like that.
Good for you, man. Good for you getting out of that cesspool. Juju, so happy for you, dude. We can't wait to see how this story continues to play out for you, man. We will always root for you. You know that. Thank you for spending a couple of minutes with us this morning, bro. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Julian Reese, of course, now the Lakers, former Terp. And interesting to hear him look back and say, that really wasn't to us what you guys thought it was. And I think his line was, it was probably going to be a whole new team anyway, as he's sort of referencing this is what college basketball is. And that, again, from the outside, it seems kind of crazy. But those guys just might not have been worried about whether Kevin Willard was going to be the coach or not, because they might have known, even the guys that still had eligibility, right? Like Jacoby Gillespie might have been aware that the market for him was going to drive him elsewhere. And I don't know that. I'm sort of speaking, but that the sense that Juju has is that's the way we were talking. Like, we just know. We know how this works. Everybody understands. And so for us, it's not what it is to you. And to me, that doesn't mean that suddenly you, forgive Kevin Willard or you say, all's good or anything along those lines, because I still think that for the fan base, it's unfortunate that the moment was clouded by this. And it sucks. I also think it's a very matter-of-fact thing. I just think this is the way that it works. The Maryland situation was a confluence of circumstances. It had to be Villanova that was available. If the job that was available was Virginia Tech, we're almost certainly not having this conversation. It had to be that there was some unknown within the athletic department. Even if Kevin Willard and Damon Evans didn't see eye to eye, in this moment, you don't know who your next athletic director is going to be. You don't know if they're going to do the things that you've been told the athletic department is willing to do. If they don't come in and say, we care more about football. You just don't know about those things. It was a unique confluence of circumstances. Hopefully, Maryland's got a plan now, and Buzz Williams will be that guy. And, it's good that Buzz Williams wants to connect with Juju Reese. And we saw him yesterday. He put on the Team Shell Shock jersey for social media posters. We know the Team Shell Shock. The Maryland alum team is going to play in the basketball tournament starting on Friday, I believe is their first game. So you want to see more relationship between Maryland alums. It's great that Steve Blake's son is on the team. You want to see more connection locally, but what you really want to see is winning. And winning will solve all of this. Maryland didn't get the job done against Florida. Nobody else did either. It's the reason why they won the national championship. But interesting just hearing Juju talk about it and sort of say, yeah, you know what, you guys probably made more of a thing out of that than it really was for us. For us, you know, we kind of didn't care because we kind of knew that, like, most of us weren't going to be here anyway, so it didn't really impact us. Interesting thoughts from Juju Reese. All right, when we come back in, we will play Would You Rather Wednesday as we continue along here on a Wednesday edition of GCR.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
Calling all athletes and families, don't miss Football versus Football, a free sports and wellness festival Saturday, July 19th from 10 to 6 at Baltimore Peninsula. Meet retired Ravens, other former NFL stars, and pro soccer players. Join youth sports clinics, get free health screenings, and enjoy food, music, and family fun. Powered by United Healthcare, presented by Sports Legacy Group, and supported by University of Maryland Orthopedics and 1-800-GAMBLER.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Summer just got a whole lot merrier at Live Casino. Win your share of $30,000 during Christmas in July. Earn entries starting July 1st. Dash in on Saturday, July 26th to be one of 50 winners to unwrap top-of-the-line electronics, home appliances, free play, and other great gifts. Go all in on good cheer at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, we celebrate the first ever Baltimore basketball player to reach the Naismith Hall of Fame as we talk to those who knew Carmelo Anthony best about how his Baltimore upbringing shaped his legendary career. Also inside, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens second-round pick Mike Green and find our annual summer travel section with information on some of the best sporting events and activities in Maryland that your family can check out all summer long. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program, and I guess that means it's time for us to play Would You Rather Wednesday. Don't forget that anyone who participates in Would You Rather Wednesday will be registered to receive a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill. One person chosen at random will be the winner. All you got to do is go over to @GlennClarkRadio on Twitter or Blue Sky, Facebook.com/GlennClarkRadio. There's 3 prompts. Respond to any of them or all 3, and you will be put in the running. Griffin will pull someone at random next Monday, and they will be the winner. All right, here's what we got. Would you rather Wednesday? Grant, you and I will play number 1.
Sweet.
Would you rather Major League Baseball adopts the swing off moving forward for all regular season games, or sticks to as is with the ghost runners and extra innings?
As much as I'm 50-50 on the ghost runner, I'd rather stick with that as opposed to the swing off.
I saw people tweeting about this last night. Like, this was so good that baseball should consider it for. And like, it's a weird. I have this weird feeling where there are other sports that do this, right? Like, soccer does this with, like, so it's easy for us to say, like, this isn't baseball.
Right.
Well, but it is a part of baseball, and it's the same thing that I say to people that scream and bitch and piss and moan about the base runner thing, where I say they played a baseball game. A baseball game is 9 innings. Everyone knows that. The baseball game was played. I'm torn because there's a part of me that thinks, like, this would be intriguing, and if you were flipping around to the channels and you turned on a game between two teams that you don't give a rat's ass about. It's the problem that baseball has. You'll watch your team, but baseball cannot get you to watch games between other teams. They don't know how to do it. The way that, to be fair, there's only a couple sports that do. The NFL can get you to watch any game. College football can get you to watch games but it's very limited, the sports where you're willing. College basketball, kinda, but even that's a stretch. Most people just don't watch college basketball until March. The NBA can't do it. They can't get you to watch a regular season game between two teams that you don't care about. It's not unique to baseball. But baseball's trying to figure out ways. It's why they talked about that stupid golden at bat concept, where at any point during the game, you could put anyone at the plate.
I'm not doing
which
that.
is nonsense.
No.
It's completely fake. But what they want to do is create a red zone channel.
So you have to throw it out there.
They want to create, how do we get people to watch baseball besides watching the team in their market? Well, if we did a red zone channel and all of a sudden we've got these sort of magic moments in games where, you know, you brought in Emmanuel Clase, but we can now bring back Juan Soto to hit, even though he's not due up. Like, you can create, that's what they're looking for. They're desperately trying to find ways to get people to watch games besides their team. This is intriguing, and not, to me, that golden at bat thing, to me, fired in the sun. That ain't.
I'll never be on board with that.
This, because again, you've played 9 innings of a baseball game. You did the baseball game. We're used to, you keep doing baseball game after that. Like, that's what we've known for our entire life. But the truth is, the baseball game is a 9-inning game. And if you were flipping channels tonight and, you know, the MLB Network had Reds Cardinals on, and you don't care, but it was, when you flipped there, you saw that it was 4-4 in the 9th inning, and you knew that a home run derby type of contest might be coming, you might be a bit more inclined to wait it out and to watch. So, again, my preference is not that they do this. I happen to love the Ghost Runner. I've said that a million times. I was the guy that screamed when they suggested it, and then I actually saw it, and I said, oh, holy crap, this is great. Like, this is really good. But part of that was because in the infancy in 2020, you were seeing teams play small ball, and you were like, I remember when we used to do that? Remember when we used to move runners over, and it wasn't just strikeouts and home runs? Like, remember when we used to play baseball? And I felt romantic feelings towards that. We're seeing more and more teams kind of just say, yeah, we don't care that there's a runner on second base. We're going to keep playing true outcome baseball. Like, we just see more and more. We see far less bunting. Like, if a right-handed hitter is at the plate, If a left-handed hitter is at the plate, you're never going to bunt because you're going to assume that worst-case scenario, they roll one over, they get the runner over to third base anyway. With a right-handed hitter at the plate, like, you would think the argument would be to bunt. Like, bunt, try to get the runner to third base with one out. But teams are saying, like, we don't want to play for one run because, you know, that we assume that the other team can do that. So we want more than one run. So we want that hitter swinging away. And that leads us back to true outcome baseball, with it. The game has been for the last, 15 or so years. I still like the extra inning rule as is, but I don't know that it's as crazy as some purists would suggest. Some purists would say you're ruining the sport. And I don't know that that's true. You played a baseball game. You did. We all saw it. 9 innings were played. I don't know that we inherently owe it to anyone to keep doing the same thing moving forward. I don't think you need to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Man, one of the things that was interesting last night, like people talking about how they genuinely thought that the All-Star game was a good show. So they're like, look, man, you don't want to give Rob Manfred credit, but like some of his ideas have been good. And I don't know how to reconcile Rob Manfred as a commissioner. I really don't. Because there is a point to be made there. The pitch clock has been objectively good for baseball. There is no counter argument. The pitch clock has helped the game. It's better that the games have been shortened. I think the extra inning rule has been very good. It's created a little interest. You don't have to worry about a game going on 16 innings. You're going to tune in. You're going to watch. You're not going to burn through pitchers for the rest of the week. I think that the extra inning thing has been objectively good. I don't know how I feel about some of the other ideas. Like, as I said, I think the golden at bat thing is pure poppycock. I mean, utter nonsense. But, you know, I felt that way about the extra inning thing, and then I changed my mind. Maybe if we saw it, we'd say, you know, like it's not what our grandfathers saw, but it's good for the sport. I don't know. And I don't know how to reconcile that and measure it against, like, what an unmitigated disaster the Athletics have been and what an unmitigated disaster the Rays have been, and, you know, how he kind of lucked out that the Masson thing solved itself with a change in ownership. And I don't know how to measure Rob Manfred, the commissioner, but some of the things he's done have been objectively good for baseball and beneficial to the game of baseball. And he's a tinkerer, and seeing that people kind of ubiquitously liked this, and it created the Kyle Schwarber moment, and it just wouldn't stun me. I do not care about who was hitting in this thing. Like, that's for a game that matters. In a game that doesn't, imagine being worked up about who, I remember Aaron Boone sent to the plate for the American League. Like, I get it. Is Aranda the guy that I would want in that spot if the game mattered? Well, I don't know. If I was the Rays, I don't know who your other options are. Probably would be one. But, like, in a hypothetical game where you had all of those players at your disposal, as a lot of people pointed out, a lot of guys they were already in street clothes at that point. Like, that's very common in all-star games. Some guys had literally left the stadium, had left the city of Atlanta by the time the 9th inning rolled around. That's the way that it works. I'm no longer needed in this game. Great. I did my part. Y'all enjoy your evening.
Bye.
I'll see you when I see you. But who cares? It's a TV show. I don't think you should do it for the regular season, but I don't think it's crazy. I don't think and it would be.
You're not opposed to it.
Like, it would create a lot of conversation, and in a big game, we would debate: did you send the right guys to the plate or not? Like, you know, you're not facing a pitcher, so it doesn't matter left or right. Like, you'd just be facing a pitching coach or somebody that you work with. You're a batting practice guy. So, you know, who would it be for the Orioles? I guess it would be Gunnar. I assume right now it would be O'Hearn, but that's a right now kind of thing. Who?
Laureano, maybe.
He's a hot hitter, but, like, you got to hit home runs. Is it?
Yeah.
I guess if he's healthy, it's probably Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if he's healthy, it's Sanchez.
Because if you're looking for gap power, there you go.
And you're looking for batting practice guys. That's really what you're looking for. And so Tyler O'Neill, as much as we all think, like, Tyler O'Neill stinks right now,
might as well.
Tyler O'Neill's probably a guy. I haven't been out to batting practice, but he probably still puts on shows in batting practice. Because you're just looking for country strong, really, in these situations.
Can't get in that early anymore, so we can't tell.
I mean, you're allowed to if you're like if you cover the team and cover the games, you can get in. I just don't. Like, I don't. It's a really
give us a preview.
It's a really long day at the ballpark. Well, if this was a thing, it would make being there for batting practice far more compelling to see who the right guys were to choose for the swing off.
If this happens and Glenn Clark is the first one at batting practice.
Dude, I mean, somebody's got to do it. I wouldn't be the first one, not a chance in hell. But, like, it would be far more – you would see a lot more beat reporters posting video of batting practice, and, you know, the team might want to think about, like, season ticket holders, and you could – for an extra $5, you can gain early entry for a home team batting practice type of thing. Piece of intrigue. Number 2. Would you rather? There was a suggestion made by John Heyman of the New York Post about a potential trade the Orioles could make. John Heyman said the Orioles and Phillies would be logical trade partners, with his trade suggestion being the Orioles deal Cedric Mullins, Gregory Soto, and Felix Bautista to the Philadelphia Phillies.
4.
Now, his return was their number 5 overall prospect, current Major League pitcher Mick Abel.
What else?
And fellow starting pitching prospect, number 12 in their system, Gene Cabrera. That was his suggested return.
Mm.
So would you make John Heyman's trade, get yourself some Major League ready or close to Major League ready starting pitching? Or would you say there's no way, can't trade Felix Bautista or can't trade him for that?
I mean, at least Mick Abel's ready, and he's durable. He can give you a start. I know they've been using him out of the bullpen. I mean, he diced up Pittsburgh in his debut, but, I mean, my thing with Bautista is, and I've talked about this with a few people, is that I'm not so sure if I'm any team I would inquire for him right now. I mean, it's his first year off of Tommy John surgery. We've seen that he can, you know, I heard you say yesterday, he walks the tightrope, getting to saves and getting out of situations. I mean, it's expected. It's his first year back on a mound. Velo's sitting 96, 97, 98, which is not what we're used to, of course. I don't expect 102 right out of the gate.
The more folks that I talk to in the pitching community, the greater belief they seem to have that if this is where he is now in his return from Tommy John, then you're feeling really – they think he's ahead of where you would expect him to be in his return from Tommy John. Now,
fair enough, yeah.
And look, this is what makes this a complicated conversation.
Yeah.
Some of the things that you're alluding to, a lot of the responses I'm getting is you're not trading Felix Bautista at all, or if you're trading him, it's got to be for such a dramatic overpay that, you know – this is not enough. And part of the reason why some people are saying that is because you just see the little numbers. Mick Abel is only like the number 70-something overall prospect in baseball.
So I'm already thinking, what else?
Right.
What else are you
So there are
offer?
a lot of people that are saying, if you're trading with the Phillies, it's got to be Painter, nothing short of that. Right?
Well, they're not going to sell Painter.
And
They've already made that clear.
This is the eternal dance. It's the eternal, we can do this forever. It's easy to say there's nothing we're better at than not making trades or not doing whatever the thing is, not signing someone. We can always come up with a reason to not do it. And it's easy to say, well, the Orioles don't have to trade Felix Bautista. And of course they don't. In a perfect world, the Orioles are competing to win a World Series next year, and Felix Bautista is a huge part of that. The problem that I continue to have is, do I believe that the Orioles, where they are right now, are genuinely going to be back in World Series conversation next year? And what it takes to get there. Because it's not just doing the thing that they haven't done, which is spend money on particularly pitching, really spend money at all, but more than anything else, it's spending money on pitching. It's also that we need Adley Rutschman to be Adley Rutschman again, that no, we don't like talking about it because we love Moo and Colton Cowser is like the greatest guy in the world. But Colton Cowser, the actual baseball player that we've seen, is a guy.
Yeah. Hasn't been what we thought it would yet.
He's a guy that had an amazing start to his 2024 season. An amazing start. And in a year where the rookie class in the American League was meh, it allowed him to be right in the mix to be Rookie of the Year. And so that's how we define Colton Cowser. We define Colton Cowser as a guy who was nearly Rookie of the Year. Well, yeah, kind of, but there's some wink, winch, nudge to that. If you watch, he was that because he had an amazing 2 months, and there was a really meh rookie class in the American League last year. And so it allowed him to be near the top of that conversation, despite the fact that he didn't have a great season. He had an otherworldly month and a half. So the Colton, you need Colton Cowser to be better than he is. You need one of, if Ryan Mountcastle's still on the team at that point, and I don't think they can trade him, so I assume, maybe in the offseason they could trade him.
Won't be for much, though.
Kobe Mayo, somebody has to be a legitimate middle-of-the-order power bat. Maybe there's some world where Heston Kjerstad's back on the team before the end of the year, and finally one of those guys has to become a legitimate power hitter. Gunnar Henderson has to be a better version of Gunnar Henderson. These are a lot. Jackson Holiday has to be better than what he's been since moving in the number one spot. I'm not trying to go war on Jackson Holiday because we all see the progress that he's making, but he's still a 300 OPS guy as your leadoff hitter. He needs to be better. How many boxes am I now talking about that need to be checked for you to believe that the Orioles can compete to be a World Series contender?
Haven't even gotten through half of them yet, probably.
I probably have. At least half of them. There's a lot. But you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
There's a boatload of things that need to occur in order to get to a place where I believe the Orioles are World Series contenders again next year.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, you don't have to trade Felix Bautista. No, you don't. But are you committed? This is the eternal thing that exists for me. The small market argument for not spending, to say we can't spend the way that other teams do, is the flip side. Well, then you need to identify your window. That within this span of 3 to 4 years, we are going to load up for that. And the Orioles, goes without saying, have not done that. So, would I do the Felix Bautista trade? I don't want to.
You may have
I would like to hope that there's something more to be on the table. But if the Orioles aren't willing to spend top money, if they're going to continue to say, well, we can't give out contracts like Max Fried, that's not going to be a good contract. It's the easiest thing in the world to say. You don't get to decide how much these guys get paid. You don't get to determine with a Pythagorean model, this is what a guy's worth. Because the flip side is you don't have the guy. And you end up in the spot that you're in. So are the Orioles willing to give away bad pitching contracts? If they are, then you don't need to make a trade like this. If they're not, and this is eternally the way they're going to go about getting their pitching is trying to make stealth moves, then I got to think about it. Because I don't know how much better you're doing than this because of the points that Grant brings up. I don't know that other teams are just going to dramatically overpay for what Felix Bautista was in 2023 versus what he is today. And every day you're closer to, we can keep saying, well, he's got 2.5 years of control. Well, a year from now, he doesn't have 2.5 years of control. And if he's still if he doesn't take that next step, if he's not throwing 100 next year, his value ain't going up. Number 3. I mentioned it earlier. You got to see the video. It's been going viral this week. There was a drunk guy at a golf course in Canada. And apparently, they're so drunk that he's just putzing around. Not playing golf. Just hanging out.
What was he drinking?
And someone came up and saw him and suggested it was time for him to get off the course. And he charged at this someone. And this someone turned out to be a former NHL player.
Oh, but it's his lucky day, I guess.
And then threw the drunk gentleman into a pond on the golf course. And then when the guy got out of the pond and got back in his face, he pummeled him to the ground. And it's all on video.
I cannot wait to watch that.
Now, would you rather be that guy? Or would you rather be a young man named Noah Asengwe? Now, the good news for Noah Asengwe is he's a high-level basketball player. He's playing in the Summer League this week for the Chicago Bulls. The problem for Noah Asengwe is the internet now knows who he is. Because Noah Asengwe got posterized this week by Johnny Furphy, who plays for the Pacers. And it's one of the sickest posterization dunks I've ever seen in my life. And what makes it particularly difficult is there is one still camera photo of this posterization that might be the most unfortunate thing that any basketball player has ever seen. This is what Noah Asengwe looks like in this particular still shot of his being posterized. His eyes into the back of his head as if he has been zombified. He does not look human any longer. He looks like he is melting as if he was the Wicked Witch of the West and Dorothy just threw Dorothy just threw water on him. This is the single most unfortunate photo I have ever seen live action from the sport of basketball. He appears to have perished. Like this, you're watching a man lose his life in this moment as he's being dunked on. So,
no way.
I make it very clear. You're living as this person for 1 week. So, because the argument would be, well, yeah, but he's a basketball player. He's going to make a lot of money to play basketball. No. You don't get that. You get 1 week that you live as this person in internet infamy. This is everything that everyone knows about you. You are either the guy that got his ass beat by a hockey player on a golf course, or you're Noah Asengwe, and the internet now knows you as a perished human on a basketball court.
I mean, that photo's bad. Like,
there's
I feel
no way
bad for
if
him.
you've never seen the picture, I don't know. Can you pull it up can you show it to people on the video? I know this is. I'm asking a lot. Grant is not as familiar with our software as Griffin is, so I'm always asking for things that are difficult to do. If you have not seen the photo, you can go at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter, facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. I shared it in the Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios. But this particular photo of Noah Asengwe getting dunked, whatever you think it looks like as I describe it, whatever you say to yourself like, oh, that can't be good, it's worse. There is no photo in the history of sport that has ever been worse for anyone than this photo of Noah Asengwe. It's impossible. He also kind of looks like Lil Bow Wow from whatever that basketball movie was. What was that? Like Mike? Was that what it was called? He kind of looks like him. He just looks like a child.
Oh, seeing it up close is even worse.
It's so bad, dude. Do you have it on the screen?
We're getting there.
Okay.
I don't even know if I want to.
We're going to end up moving on. We're going to end up having to move on from the topic. So which would you rather? Would you rather be Noah Asengwe for the week or be the drunk guy on the golf course for the week?
I think I'd rather be Noah Asengwe.
Why?
Look, at least I knew I went down playing basketball. I don't want to be known as the drunk guy who got obliterated and I couldn't control it.
This is the very difficult part about the discussion about posterizations. It's why you see guys not attempt to defend in breakaways or on dunks, fast breaks. You just see guys run away from it because they're terrified of looking like this. They don't want to be ethered on the internet. And so there is something to be said for Noah Sengwe at least trying, right? Like, at least he didn't run away and just say, I'm sure at some point one of the coaches of the Chicago Bulls was like, dude, I know that was embarrassing. I know that was tough. But at least appreciate you hanging in there and not running away from the play. There's something to be said for that. But is it enough that you want to deal with that? I feel like it's easier to explain being drunk on the golf course. Like, I think that guy, like, he already made, like, a video that is getting a lot of traction. I think he can actually market himself on the internet somehow. Like, yeah, dude.
All right, it's up. They can see it on the 3-shot.
I'm a drunken idiot, right? Like, I think there's something to be said for that.
I don't know. I get your point.
I also think that somebody said the real correct answer is, like, you want to be Noah Sengwe because even for a week you get to experience what it's like to be a professional athlete, and that's something that, like, none of us will ever get to experience. Now, it's not real games. It's summer league games, but it's still, like, you're a professional athlete, and that's a very small, like, just that feeling is worth it, even if you're embarrassed.
You can't win either way there. That's the sticky part.
I think it's
Noah Sengwe.
It's brutal,
That
man.
is.
At some point in my life, I was the drunk guy on the golf course. Not on the golf course. I didn't play golf, but, like, I was just a drunk guy that did dumb things. I told the story with Drew. I definitely woke up one morning. I was working at a Best Buy at this age.
Hey, Drew, I'm of age, by the way, just to answer your question from last week.
Good. You've been sitting on that for some time.
Because it's funny.
So I woke up, I went to work, and I was a mess. Like, and at a certain age, you go to work hungover quite a few times. But on this particular day, I straight up could not lift my head. Like, I had to sit down. There was something wrong. And I could not figure out what it was. So I finally, like, called one of my buddies that I was out with the night before. I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like, you're, like, running through the list of, like, because somebody had done something to our drink. Like, why would I feel like this? And he said, bro, you probably had a concussion. Like, we didn't want you to go to sleep. Like, we were really worried. I'm like, what do you mean I had a concussion? He's like, you don't remember? I don't remember at all. He said, you were talking to some girl. It turns out there was a dude that, like, she was there at the party with, and he was a wrestler. And you found out he was a wrestler, and you said, I'll wrestle you right now. And I wish that was the only, like, time that I did so. Proctor would tell you a story about a time that I ended up cursing loudly in front of children because I still was concussed from the night before when a buddy of mine, Goldberg, speared me into a potato chip stand at a bodega.
Oh, no.
Like, the number of idiotic... I've talked about the concussions that I've had in my life, and people have been like, oh, wow, from sports? And I'm like, I wish they were from sports. I wish. They were from drunken buffoonery. Buffoonery!
I feel bad for laughing.
We've all been that idiot at some point in our life. My God, the week before my wedding, I mangled my face because I drunkenly ran into a fence while playing Can Jam. I had to have a makeup artist come make me look human for my wedding because I so badly mangled my face. We've all been there, dog. I can understand that guy. Noah Sengwe, I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do. I feel like it's hard to even laugh at yourself because you're still supposed to be a competitor and you're still supposed to be like you can't make fun of yourself over it. You kind of just have to try to pretend like it never happened, and I don't know that I can do that. I'm not good at pretending like it never happened. So I feel like I have to be the drunken idiot.
You and I got to have a chat about my 22nd birthday then.
Grant, we've all been there, dog. We've all been there. My aunt reminds me of, like, drunken stories about my own father. she reminds me of like how like lucky he is to be alive. I like telling those stories to my sons because they make fun of me when they hear my stories, and I'm like,
and then
your peepaw was no better than I
you
was.
haven't met, yeah.
He passed out on the National Mall one day. Like, just, we've all been there, man. We have all been there. We can all understand being the guy at the golf course. Yes. Proctor said, I thought this was when Mark. Yeah, there it is. And he said, and the girl who did my makeup nearly succeeded. She nearly made me look human. She nearly made me look human for my wedding. She was a hell of a makeup artist that I almost looked human at my own wedding. Yeah. We've all been there. What's that?
Nearly?
Well, I mean, it's a struggle to begin with.
Yeah.
Even when my face isn't mangled, it's a struggle, right? Now imagine
I
this.
wasn't going to be that harsh.
Plus my face was mangled. Like, imagine what we were asking of our makeup artist.
You look fine, Glenn.
The day of my wedding. Imagine. I mean, when I say mangled, I don't think you understand. Like, it was gnarly what my face looked like.
I believe it.
Hell of a job. Thank you. Thank you to our friend Katie. All right, get your responses in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter. Very unpopular, this idea of trading Felix Bautista for that return. Very, very unpopular. Somebody's winning a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grow. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit. We will get tubular. We will wind it down for a Wednesday edition of GCR.
For fans of the Costas Inn, and who isn't, I have some great news. Now there's a second location to go along with 4100 North Point Boulevard. This one is at the Timonium OTB. This is Stan the Fan, and I have been a fan of the Costas Inn and Triantafalo's family for going on 30 years. They're open for lunch and dinner, same great Costas feel, same great menu and quality food you've been enjoying for well over 50 years. The exact address on your GPS is 2200 York Road, and their phone number at the new location is 667-406-1970. If you're new to the Costas experience, get ready for a real treat. All wrapped up in a new spacious dining room in Timonium at the OTB. If you want steamed crabs, you have them, and the full menu at 4100 North Point Boulevard. The number for reservations there at Costas, 410-477-1975.
This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
Summer just got a whole lot merrier at Live Casino. Win your share of $30,000 during Christmas in July. Earn entries starting July 1st. Dash in on Saturday, July 26th to be one of 50 winners to unwrap top-of-the-line electronics, home appliances, free play, and other great gifts. Go all in on good cheer at Live Casino at Erndale Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Joe says, truth be told, Glenn, I've actually been this guy on a golf course. Not saying that I got my ass kicked on a golf course, but I've been that drunk on a golf course. When you go day drinking and play in some of these events. We've all been there. That's why everybody should play in charity golf tournaments, because people are a bit more forgiving in those circumstances than if you just do it on an average Tuesday when other people will be on the course. I appreciate the guy apologized and knew he was in the wrong. Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm not a big golfer, right? So I'll never really understand that feeling. I'll never be in that dude's shoes. But, like, as I just said to Grant, if you're this guy every now and then that somebody has a story about, right, like of how insanely drunk and stupid you were.
It happens.
It happens. Everybody's been in that spot, and whether it's you get beer muscles where suddenly you think you can fight somebody and you're everybody's going to get their ass kicked at some point. I attempted to wrestle not just an all-state wrestler, apparently. I found out later when for the honor of a young lady that, Lord knows, might have wanted to have nothing to do with me or the other guy. Like, we apparently drunkenly concocted the idea that we were fighting for the companionship of this young lady. And I don't even know. Like, I have no idea. Because I was... It happens. It happens. If it happens every now and then, like, the guy in this golf video is going to be dunked on, but if this is a one-time thing, like, we can have... The crazy lady that was on the plane, this mother effer is not real. That lady that had to be kicked off the plane we dunked on her for weeks. She was the singular subject of everything on the internet. And now she's like an internet celebrity. Now it helps that she's very attractive. Like that goes a long way. But she's very popular. Like I think like maybe might have even gotten a job at Barstool or something. Like she's become a thing. So if it happens once and it's not really who you are, all good. This is the story of who you are, then you're a wild card that I can't deal with. But I can live with being the drunk guy one time. Jeff said the same thing, and Joe and Jeff both checked in and said, I've been that guy. Like, yeah, we all have. Everybody's been that guy at some point. We've all John from Little Rock, however, says I'd be the guy that got posterized. It's just a few seconds of devastation. I don't know that it is. I think those few...
I don't think either situation is, because both are on the internet forever. That photo and that video.
Like, no matter what. Dude, the guy that got dunked on by Vince Carter in the Olympics, his name is Frederick Weiss, if I remember correctly. It's the only thing you know, and I still somehow know his name. Yeah, Frederick Weiss. I still know the guy's name. Years later. I don't remember what year it was. 2000.
Yeah, that's not a great one either.
25 years ago was the Vince Carter dunk. And I still remember the guy's name, and it's the only thing I know about him. That's it.
Poor guy.
He apparently played for the Knicks. He was apparently a first-round draft pick in the NBA. I had no idea.
But we forget that because...
The only thing we know. One thing. He had Vince Carter's testicles in his face. The only thing we know about Frederick Weiss. All right, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Best place to go to watch the UFC fights on Saturday night. Big pay-per-view card. You can pay a huge price to watch it at home. But why in the world would you do that when you could instead save that money, maybe make a weekend out of it, right? Like maybe you get a hotel, you take the missus with you. The trade-off, like, hey, we can go to an event or something, but we're also going to watch the fights. Maybe she's a fight fan. She's excited for doing that. You can get some delicious food while you're at Sports and Social. You could also go to one of the high-end restaurants at Live Casino and Hotel. Maybe check out the prime rib, something like that. Or make a couple bucks betting at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Or play some table games. You can't play Uno. We learned that. Everybody was very excited this weekend when we saw that there were these rumors that Uno was going to be put on the table or as a table game at the Palm.
But if we throw the reverse card, maybe we can.
It turns out.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's a fun. They're going to do these Uno social clubs. I don't know what that's like, But it
What's
ain't.
the
You're not going to be
difference?
able to bet on Uno at casinos. That's not a thing that's occurring, which is good because you don't like playing the actual Uno game. You like playing the way that you and your friends play with house rules. Like you don't. The actual Uno game, as the rules are written by
They
Mattel,
don't apply.
sucks.
They don't apply.
Sucks. So the moral of the story is make a weekend out of it. Watch the fights. Pocket that money that you would spend on the pay-per-view. Put it towards a great weekend or at least a great Saturday night at Live Casino in Hotel Maryland. What you got?
It's hard to believe that 2020 was already 5 years ago, and that's a year that I think many people want to forget.
Mhm.
Many people fought a lot of adversity through, and it was around this time 5 years ago that opening day happened. It was 8 days from now
Right,
that
because they started the season and
Yep.
yeah, sure.
didn't know if it was gonna happen, but it did. I got the opening day lineup from 2020 written down right here. Orioles at Red Sox. We got rocked 13-2. Who can you? You don't have to name 1 through 9 the exact who batted in order, but position wise,
Who is in the lineup?
including starting pitcher and DH. Nobody is on the team anymore.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. How's about Cedric Mullins?
He was not, but he came in later on for the center fielder.
Okay. Ryan Mountcastle.
He hadn't made his debut yet. He was a few weeks later.
Anthony Santander.
Was in right field.
Okay, so we got one.
I believe in you.
How about the two that I always got confused who was who? Rio Ruiz and Renato Nunez.
Ruiz was third. Nunez was the DH.
Ruiz third.
Ruiz had a home run in that game.
Nunez DH. We were just talking about him with Jeremy Kahn last week. Was that Jose Iglesias?
Before he became a musician. Yes.
Yeah.
At shortstop. 370 hitter, then he goes on to New York and writes that really cool song.
Oh my God. How about Austin Hayes?
He was the center fielder, and that's who Mullins subbed in for.
DJ Stewart
was in left field.
Okay.
Struck out twice.
So what do I need? I need a second baseman, I need a catcher, and I need
First base and a pitcher.
First baseman and a pitcher. All right. First base. Wasn't Ryan Mountcastle.
Nope.
Is that still Chris Davis?
It was Chris
Son of a
Davis.
bitch. You keep forgetting how long he lingered, just not being good at baseball.
I thought that was going to be his year because he had that. Remember, he had that ridiculous spring training.
Oh, I do.
We thought he adjusted.
Wait.
Yeah, he was like a
But when
400.
they only did like 2 weeks of spring training.
Yeah,
didn't
he was
they?
he was still like a 400 here with like 5 home runs, and then he had 2 months off, and I thought that was going to be his year.
All right, so someone who I know was on the team that year because we always vividly remember was Pat Valleca. Was he?
He was not.
Oh, damn.
But I do remember that.
Everybody remembers
The walk.
I don't. Where you like? I don't want to touch anybody, so they're all doing the raise
hands
the
in the
roof.
air.
It was so great. So who the hell was the second baseman then?
He destroyed lefties.
Is that Hanser Alberto?
I don't know how you couldn't love that guy. It was one of my favorite guys during that rebuild.
I only vaguely remember. If you hadn't told me the lefty thing, I don't think I would have gotten there. Like I
gave it too soon then.
Yeah.
All right, your catcher and pitcher, your battery.
Catcher Jesus Sucre.
No, he was gone by that point.
Chance Cisco.
He came in later in the game.
It's not Wellington Castillo.
No.
That's is that Severino?
It was. So the starting pitcher may stump you. I'm curious to see who you're gonna say.
John Means.
No, he was going to, but he was scratched for injuries, so somebody else had to fill in.
So this is a fill-in starting pitcher.
Well, not fill in. He would have been in the rotation that year.
Would have been in the rotation. I might not.
He was a lefty.
He was a lefty.
Free agent signing. So he was a little bit older at that point. Actually,
That's not Alex Cobb. He was a righty, right?
Correct. I think he got the start a day or two later.
Cobb did or did
Cobb did.
Cobb did.
So you're still working with a lefty for this one.
Lefty. It's not Cashner.
No, I think Cashner.
Was
Nobody
it?
signed him that year.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted him, which surprised me.
Free agent signing. It's a tricky one, you say. Free agent signing.
I had a feeling this one was going to get you.
I don't know. I don't know.
You sure?
Yeah.
You want to give it?
It's 12:24. We got to wrap up.
Tommy Malone.
Oh, Tommy Malone. Oh, son of a bitch. Tommy Malone. All right, that was good. That was good. Very good. Let's get Tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control. It's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
Here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise, and, it's the day after the All-Star game, so there is the women's Euro quarterfinals get underway this afternoon. I haven't even checked. I got to see how my team's doing in our coleslaw popsicle challenge. Norway and Italy today at 3 o'clock on Fox. If you're up late tonight, coverage of round 1 of the British Open actually starts at 1:30 a.m. on Peacock. And then continues at 4 a.m. on the USA Network. So if you got a late night ahead of you or you get up at the crazy early hour, British Open gets underway overnight. Fox Sports 1, the Women's Copa America, Bolivia and Brazil at 5 o'clock, Venezuela and Colombia at 8 o'clock. A lot of MLS, they're trying to take advantage of there being no baseball tonight. Fox Sports 1 has the Colorado Rapids and the Seattle Sounders at 10. DC United plays at Charlotte FC at 7:30 on Apple TV+. Lots of Summer League, including Wizards Jazz, 10 o'clock on ESPN. And if you've got absolutely nothing else to do, the ESPYs are tonight at 8 o'clock. Shane Gillis is the host. The only thing that has ever mattered in the history of the ESPYs was the time that Norm Macdonald absolutely devastated. It was just so painfully funny as the host that they would never bring him back. And then TNT tonight for AEW Dynamite at 8. As far as non-sports are concerned, nothing. I mean, nothing. There is a new episode of MasterChef. That makes me happy. I do love that. Oh, wait, is Sonny's back. Was Sonny back last week? Did I just miss that? This season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia. New episode tonight at 9 o'clock on FX. I will, I've completely changed my mind. There is something to watch tonight. Very exciting.
Is Danny DeVito still in that?
Yes, very much so.
Of course.
And the whole gang's still together. I love that they're still making it. All right. Thanks today to Juju Reese. Thanks to Ike Irish and his father, Jeff. That was fun. Thanks to John Rallo and to Drew Forrester. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the
Oh, my God. It's so good.
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow, I believe Cam Nelson from St. Paul's, who was drafted in the 5th round. I don't remember who drafted Cam Nelson. Who drafted him? I've already forgotten. But Baltimore native, I believe he's going to join us tomorrow. And stuff and things tomorrow on the program. Working on some more things for tomorrow's show. But looking forward to being back here. And I feel like there was something that I wanted to do, like a segment that I wanted to do this week. And
Cam Nelson is a Rocky.
Rockies. That's who drafted him. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Maryland 5-Star, Live Casino and Hotel, Game Day Men's Health, the BMW Championship, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costa Sin, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Grant at 20G DeVivo. And, of course, the
Which one?
podcast.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jerry. We are now the Be More Sports podcast.
Oh.
So a little change, a little tweak. Find us at Be More Sports Ball or Be More Sports Pod on all of our socials and YouTube.
Be More Sports Podcast. This week, Trevor Rogers on the
Correct.
program. So you can check that out.
And a whole bunch of new stuff coming up the rest of this year into next.
Excellent. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go nobody. Duke sucks.